Let me start this video by saying I am being sincere. I genuinely want to know. I am making this video so I can gain an understanding. So no one can question Black women. No one can correct Black women. No one can offer information and advice to Black women. Nobody. And I know you're probably thinking, Ash, where are you going with this? This is not a question. I see so many women come onto this app, not all, but some, a lot, to be honest, and say they're having a problem with something. And you will have people offer advice, and they will say, no, that's not it. People will make videos where they are blatantly wrong in what they did. And people will come and say, you're asking if you're right or wrong. We're here to tell you that you're wrong. No, I'm not.
Wow.
You will
don't check me, boo.
People that will make a video. Example, I'm never approached by men. What am I doing wrong? Well, maybe you're not approachable. No, you're wrong. Help me to understand who can say anything to Black women. If Black women can't critique and correct Black women, Black men cannot critique and correct Black women, because you need to stay out of women's business. We know the counterparts can't say anything, which I understand. Who can? I'm just trying to figure this out, because no matter what content that I put out, it is always with the greatest of intent to help improve my community. Now, we may not always agree, and I respect that. But why is it that everything that I say is looked at as a negative? It's looked at as I'm being a pick-me. It's looked at like, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so when the Black men come and say, hey, ladies, y'all are saying that y'all are having problem with Black men, here's why. No, it's not. Who can correct us? I genuinely want to know. I genuinely want to hear what y'all got to say in the comment section.
Now, you guys already know she was castigated down in her comment section below that TikTok. Shout out to the sister. Shout out to our brother Chisha Zed for that clip. But amongst all of the hyenas who were cackling at her, trying to tear her head off down in the comment section, there was one lady who absolutely understood exactly where she was coming from, and she had this to say.
I saw a video recently where a Black woman was asking who the hell can correct Black women, and then another Black woman stitched it and was all dramatic like, who's not telling Black women? Y'all don't understand what she's saying. Black women overwhelmingly are not receptive to constructive or critical feedback, are not receptive to accountability. Okay?
Who gonna check me, boo?
Overwhelmingly so, to where when somebody like me says being a baby mama is not the goal, y'all want to get in the comments and defend baby mama-ness as opposed to just reflecting and saying, you know what? If I could do it over again, I would not have had this man's child, but I love my children. Woo, woo, woo. I could say being a crackhead is not what it is. Y'all gonna say, you judging. Woo, woo, woo. Like, y'all don't want any level of standard for yourselves because you're still full of shame for the decisions that you've made.
Now, for those wondering why I played those clips, number one, it needed to be said. When Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, was here, he tried to correct these women. He tried to give them insight as to what would give them a better outcome than the one they currently were facing. And they fought against him with everything they had, celebrated his death, as untimely as it was. They were laughing about it, and they enjoyed the fact that he was no longer with us. It's the who gon' check me boo mentality that is endemic all throughout the American Black community. What happened was, recently, a woman who lives in Germany, who's married to an American passport bro, went viral, not even intending to do so, because someone misinterpreted what she had to say, because they, again, can't be corrected, won't allow themselves to be chastised and put in their place so that they can change their behavior and, again, get a better outcome. Let's speak for herself, though. Roll the clip.
I already knew I had him because there was simply no competition out there for me. But let's just look at it objectively. You had this average Black American guy who now was able to choose between what he was dealing with before and somebody completely new. And let me tell you, the moment I stepped into that man's life, he really didn't know how to deal with my femininity because I was not loud. I was not screaming. I was not trying to, be louder than him. I didn't interrupt him because that's not something that I learned from home. If somebody would speak, and especially a man, you would let that man speak and then you would listen and then say whatever you have to say, right? So I was clean. I cooked. He didn't know what it was when a woman is actually in the room asking him, like, do you want something to drink? Before I got myself something to drink. Do you want something to eat? Before I started to eat my food, I would ask him, do you want to have a bite? I would come out of nowhere and just have a fruit bowl and just offer him some fruit. He didn't know none of this. So my husband, back then boyfriend, really thought this was a dream come true. He didn't know how to deal with none of this because all this me coming through, just being nurturing by nature, his peoples and his family didn't even do that for him. Like the family, there is no family unit. The average family, especially Black American family, has barely a family unit. There is no breakfast, lunch, and dinner at set times. And these are things that I introduced my husband to with my family. Can you imagine that impact that I had on him back then? So gentlemen, do not be afraid of traveling. There are so many more women out there who are willing to take care of you. It doesn't matter if they're young. It doesn't matter if they're older. They are willing to take care of you, willing to work with you, willing to be a part of your life. You don't have to deal with whatever you are dealing with back in your hometown because unfortunately, a lot of American women are lost in the delusional world that they are living in, and they don't even understand that they are going to be lonely for a long time, if not for the rest of their life. They say by choice, but I don't believe them.
They didn't like that mirror being held up to their faces like that, fellas. So, in her own words, to clarify her position, Miss Soraya Brooks.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a snippet out of a whole YouTube video where I was talking about how my basic daily activities have impressed and impacted my husband's daily routine. I mean, it is just what it is. And you know what? A lot of women out there should apply that knowledge that I'm trying to give to you for free. Tell me, where did you hear me say that Black American women are no competition? I was not even talking about Black American women in particular. I never said anything like that I am better than them. I never said anything like I have better qualities than a Black American woman. No, I'm always talking about modern Western women in general. And by the way, a huge shout out and thank you to everyone who was listening with their ears instead of using their emotions. Because when you compare the caption of the video that I didn't even put on the video to the words that were coming out of my mouth, the caption had nothing to do with the words that I was saying. I mean, honestly, I was talking about the American family structure if you were able to get the message that I was trying to bring to you. Yes, I did say the average Black American family barely has a family unit. Not even in that statement, I generalized all Black families in America that they don't have a family unit. I lived in America for 2 years and I've seen a lot of messed up things in Black households, white households, and I very soon came to the conclusion, coming from a traditional household, that there is something seriously wrong that's going on in those households in America. And I was flabbergasted at the amount of disrespect an average American man would have to deal with coming from the woman of the household. I mean, these women, not only that they were disrespectful, they were lazy too. And I heard them speak a certain way to their children that had me in complete shock. I mean, I remember this one situation where this woman called her teenage son bitch, and I couldn't believe my ears. Even if that was supposed to be a joke in that moment, that word is doing something to that child. How is it going to grow up thinking it's okay that a woman is calling that boy bitch? I mean, let's be.
I too have seen this in my friends who I grew up with who didn't have their dads in the home, like myself. This behavior is malicious as hell, and it's designed to condition the teenage boy when he becomes a man to be subservient to the female and let that dominance of that matriarchal way of thinking to flourish in his own house.
But enough said, let's dive into a few comments of a couple of women under my video who have a lot of love for me. You know what? I love you too. He was homeless, curious to why no Russian man wifed her if she had family values. We stay rent-free in everyone's head, or why is everyone obsessed with us, or who wants something from the store. Nobody's obsessed with you, honey, trust me. Those are the ones we don't want, sis. You're good. These women are so delusional, they are absolutely obsessed with themselves.
Translation.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Now, honestly, what justifies these women making comments like this? Am I the problem, or are they maybe the problem? I'll tell you what the issue is. They have a huge problem with someone who treats an American black man very, very well. And that's the problem they have, because they think no man deserves to be treated well if he doesn't pay. Excuse me, that doesn't even make any sense to me. If I can only be nice to you when you pay me, that makes me a whole prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just call it for what it is. You can get upset if you want to. The truth is always going to be the truth. And on this channel, all you will find is the truth.
Oh, went straight for the throat on that one. I love it.
I mean, isn't it true that the majority of modern women nowadays don't want the average man because they are just not good enough for this boss babe? But at the end of the day, these women forget, which makes them so delusional, these women forget that some of them, a lot of them, are below average. I mean, how can you sit there and put yourself on a pedestal, expect all men to do the same because you're wearing fake hair, because you're wearing fake lashes, because you have lip fillers, cheekbone fillers, forehead lip fillers, you are wearing certain type of clothes that make your body look a certain way. But once all of that comes off, I don't know who we're supposed to put on the pedestal. Surely not your ass. I also know for a fact that 90% of these women who are in that comment section are single. Single by choice, you know, because the average man is not good enough. Oh, but coincidentally, that high-value man is not checking for them either. So, of course, you're going to be single by choice. Who are you even kidding? And you cannot tell me that you're coming home every night and you're happy with no man that's waiting for you. No man you can cuddle with. No man that's going to help you, protect you, provide all of the security for you. You're always talking about that you can do all of that yourself. If you can, why are so many of you all over social media platforms just breaking down in your car, crying that you are sick and tired of being single? It doesn't make any sense to me. Can you please make it make sense? As women really need to stop thinking that their looks only is everything a man is looking for in a woman. I'm going to tell you one thing, the culture I come from, my Turkish culture, we take pride as women if we can go to work, take care of the household, contribute to the household, and take care of our loved ones. Some of you are out there don't even know what that means. I mean, honestly, what do you bring to the table besides you being the table? Let's break those words down. What does it even mean, you being the table? You have a career, good for you. You have a nice car, good for you. You have a good sense of humor, good for you. You're good looking, good for you. But what is a man supposed to do with all of that? Wipe his ass? A man doesn't need you for that. Do you really think that a man is going to put up with you? You looking good? You got your career? You got your car? But when he comes home, you're going to create a whole bunch of drama? No, he's not going to be with you. A lot of women are broken. Their ego is way too big for them. And you cannot tell me that a lot of women aren't broken, because if somebody is not mad at something, and most of the time these women are mad at themselves, really, women would not act like that in the comment section. They will not insult me. I mean, there are so many comments, I couldn't even put it all in one video without the video being maybe an hour long. There are so many insulting comments, even towards my husband. They don't even know the man. There's a reason why I keep my husband private. You may see a picture here, you may see a picture there, but at the end of the day, I know how shicey these women are. They would be on the internet, send him messages, send him nudes, send him all these things. So if you don't want that average man, why are you doing all of these things? What you should be really doing instead is listen to my advice and other content creators' advice and try to self-correct and try to apply some of these things that I'm mentioning in my videos in your relationship and see how that impacts your relationship. A lot of you women out there want to be one in a million, but all you are is one of a million. You are no different from the next woman that pretends she is unique, she's the only one, she's everything a man is looking for in a woman. No. All of you are the same. Y'all look the same. Y'all act the same. Talk the same. Think the same. Move the same. Try to be yourself.
Not a single lie was detected. I did an entire playlist, and I'll link it down below for you guys who haven't seen it, about the lies women just expect men to believe, not the least of which was their appearance. All the fake everything she was talking about. Man, she cooking today, bro. I love this.
But I understand a lot of you don't even understand what it means to be yourself. You women are not even self-aware nowadays. I mean, honestly, who are you to sit there and say that the average man is not good enough? If it wasn't for that average man working an average job, your trash wouldn't be picked up on time. Your stinking ass shit wouldn't flush down the toilet properly. There would be no roads. There would be no auto mechanics. So for us women to sit there and say that we don't want any average man, we're just looking for the high value man, that is so wrong. Us as women, we benefit so much from the average man. And the average man doesn't even want anything in return for that. But you have nothing else better to do than to sit there and shit on an average man all day long when you don't even know how to cook a meal from scratch.
Wow, where do I begin, man? Just shout out to the working man. Shout out to the blue collar guys out there trying to make a living, not trying to hurt nobody, just trying to be as productive a member of society as they can be. Shout out to my man Rome over the Average Man Unplugged for this clip. Shout out to Mrs. Soraya Brooks. Shout out to her husband, her passport bro husband, who she loves and she takes care of. Shout out to our brother Chisha Zed as well for the previous clips of the hot librarian who was asking who can check black women. You know, it's amazing where we are in this society, where we are in this dating culture, where we are. It's just destructive, and there's very few things left of value for those of us who are productive, who do go out of our way to try and be the best man we can be every day. You know, it's amazing what we have left as far as our scraps, guys. Get your passports. Look at this beautiful woman. Look at her. Fit, feminine, friendly, attractive. Every strand of hair on top of her head is growing out of her own scalp. Man. Like I said, I'll leave a link down to my brother Rome's video so you can see it in its entirety. Like I said, guys, get your asses down to that post office. Pay the $200. Work your ass off. Stack your money up and get your ass overseas where real women live. Where wife material women live, for those of you guys who actually still want one. I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. That's my time. Like the video, comment down below. Share with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brothers suffer in silence when the truth can set them free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.